All right, welcome to episode 32 of the Bazooka Kickboxing series, and this is going to be our last episode on changing levels, and we're going to focus on getting that left kick and attacking the back leg of your opponent or your partner. And I'm lucky to have with me Antonio Pato Carvalho, Shudo veteran, UFC champion.
Not UFC champion.
Well, I mean, UFC Canadian champion, UFC, 4 fights in the UFC, and I was able to corner him in a few of his fights, so I'm very happy to have him as part of the series. So we're going to go about that left kick, and the technical aspect of the left kick you can see in so many different episodes before. I talk about it to the body, and I also talk about changing levels with it in the changing series. So Antonio and I are just going to more flow on our different ways to attack the back leg, and I'm just going to show you some of the footwork. And the different footwork when doing it, I'll actually pull Antonio here. We're going to go on an angle. So I'm going to look at my front foot being in the center of Antonio. And if I keep my front foot here, it's very easy to attack the front leg, but you can also attack the back leg with that step. The big misconception is you have to step out to your left when throwing the left kick. So you'll see a lot of people really step out where you do lose a lot of power on that kick. And I'm someone who I like to stay center line when attacking the back leg, but that also depends on your opponent's stance. If you have an opponent who fights with a really long stance, it's harder to hit the back leg. So if someone stands a little taller, it's easier to hit the back leg. So if someone's standing like Antonio, maybe a little bit longer in his stance, I might not stay center line because it's harder and the rear leg is further to hit. So if he has a long stance, this is more when I will step out to the side and hit the back leg. If he has a shorter stance, now it's a lot easier, and now I can stay center line and attack the back leg. So it also depends on your opponent's stance and where they are in the ring. So the two ways we're going to drill back and forth to get comfortable is staying center line. And when I stay center line, my back foot is going to travel straight, okay? And now if I'm stepping off, I'm going to step my front, I can step my front foot out and then attack off of that angle, or I can switch my stance. I can switch and come off to my left. So center line, I can switch off to the left, hit the back leg, or I can sidestep out and attack the back leg. Before we add any punches for setups, we're just gonna go back and forth to get comfortable finding the back leg. Okay, and when you're doing this drill, I want you to focus on landing different parts of your shin on the back leg. Sometimes I might stay and I might use my instep mid-quad. The next time I might go a little deeper and hit with my higher shin on the top. And you can also change low, middle, or high on the back leg. Now, when I really want to do the most damage with this kick, I like to get in nice and deep and get a nice high shin near the top of the leg. That's the shot that ends up doing the most damage. And why it's a really underutilized kick is because most people, Antonio's an orthodox fighter. If I hit his front leg, he's used to taking kicks off of that leg, so they usually have a tougher IT band, quadricep in order to take those shots. But the back leg doesn't take as much damage, so maybe it might take 10 to finish the front leg, but maybe 2 or 3 to hit the back. It is a little bit more risky because I do have to get in a little bit more side, which makes me a little bit more open for punching. But if you land that leg, it takes less damage to finish. So now Antonio and I are just going to flow back and forth and using our different setups. I can double up my left kick, use my hands, pick which ones you like, and you can go from there. A very simple one, right hand, left kick to the back leg. You have easy right hook, back leg. You can get creative, start changing levels with your punches. I can set it up with my own kicks. All right, so now we have Antonio on the wall bag, and he's just gonna mix up finding different of ways to land that left kick. And as you can see, he's using his high shin sometimes. Sometimes he's switching, sometimes he's stepping off. The other thing, he's changing the angle of his kick. Sometimes it might float a little up, sometimes he goes a little bit more round and able to get more power and more weight behind the punch. Now, once he finds comfortable with finding it, he's gonna start adding a single punch to it. So it can be a right hand, left kick. He could even use his jab or left hook off of it. Now he's learning to flow punch to kick. Always changing up how he throws that left kick. And time. So now I'm just going to use your traditional tie bag, but what's really important is I'm going to use my punches to set up this left kick. And if you watch the series, build combinations in different ways. So I want you to start changing levels with your punches. I want you to do same side attacking, either right side or left, alternating sides. So constantly change up how you throw your combinations. So there's a lot going into this. It's not just hitting the left low kick, it's how you set it up. Sometimes you can start it as a single right away, or you set it up with punches. Be creative with how you land this left kick. I can stay long and attack, or I can stay inside. Okay, so those who've seen me hold pads, I like to use more, I call it my single pad way of holding. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna constantly switch up different ways for Antonio to land this rear low kick. We'll start off finding the timing. Good, some deep shin. I can set it up with my lead hand, lead hook. I can go right hand. So this is the base of it. From here, you can mix in anything you like. So 1, 2, left kick. Oh, again. Good. I can set it up with different kicks. Oh, good. One more of those. Good, one more. Good. Jab hook. Good. Just inside, get inside and attack. Oh, good, stay close. Oh, good. Oh. One more, last one. One more, fast, go. Good, nice work. So some of the common mistakes when talking about attacking that rear leg is, one, you need the confidence. It's a weapon that's far away from you, so you have to be comfortable in going for it. If you're gonna hesitate and try to touch that leg, you're exposing your center line so much where you're easy to get caught with a lot of straight punches. So when doing it, you have to keep your chin down, you have to stay tight and be confident in attacking it. The second mistake is you're gonna have to set it up. Unless your opponent is fighting tall and he's dazed or he's hurt, the back leg is you have to learn to set it up. So using your punches or your kicks to get that back leg is a key. And the last thing, when you do it, don't square up. Every time people are kicking, you really need to keep your center line tight and change up the type of kick. For the most damage, you're looking for the top of your shin on your opponent's rear leg. There you have it, episode 32 of the Bazooka Kickboxing series, attacking the rear leg. At this point of the series, you know how to build combinations, you know how to change levels, you know how to go kick to punch, punch to kick. So the next part of the series, we're gonna talk about a little bit more of our defense. And our next episode in particular, we're gonna talk about blocking kicks and returning with our kicks. And that's episode 33. Make sure you like, subscribe, and if you like these t-shirts, bazookasquad.com. Follow the guys behind the camera at DB Vault.